You're listening to Kids Ministry Answers from Stuff You Can Use, from Stuff You Can Use, from StuffYouCanUse.org.
Welcome to Kids Ministry Answers. My name is Jason.
And my name is Linda, and this is the podcast where you ask the questions and we help you find the answers. Okay,
Linda, how are you today?
I am great, Jason. It's been ages since we last saw each other.
Yes, again, this is a great place for us to hang out. I really do enjoy getting,
I know.
Up.
It's so fun because we get to talk about fun things, and then we also get to talk about ministry things. So all in all, it's a wholesome place to be. So thank you for being in it with me.
I think our intros are especially my favorite part of these because we are asking each other questions that we're genuinely curious about.
Right, it's true.
I think it's like, man, what was Linda like when? Fill in the gaps of your life.
Tell me your biggest fears.
So, in that same vein, Linda, take yourself back to when you were a kid in kids ministry, maybe even youth ministry for this question. So, think of what was your favorite event, your favorite church event that you ever attended when you were a kid?
Yeah, this is a no-brainer for me, actually, because this is one of those events I looked forward to every year, and it was the Halloween event. So we called it Hallelujah Night because, we Christian like that. But whatever you call your fall festival, we looked forward to that every year. And especially because we grew up really with a very strict upbringing. We never did anything else on Halloween, and so that church event was our fun. And it was really fun because all the leaders put in so much time into the decation, having carnival games. They were homemade and somehow cooler.
Cool.
It had really fun spins to them, and they gave you a ton of candy. We would go home, those plastic bags of ice.
Yes.
The large ones, we would all go home with giant bags of candy.
Don't skimp on the candy, Halloween.
Right, and it was good candy, right? It wasn't just the assorted ones you get from Costco. It was just Korean candy and large bars of things. So it was to the point where I was why would anyone go trick-or-treating? This is better.
Totally.
We get so much candy. And I think because I have those core memories now, I actually love planning this event as an adult because I remember how much joy was associated with it. So hands down, favorite event. What about you?
So mine was definitely this was a no-brainer for me too. We would every year do a church lock-in inside a gym. So there was a college nearby in the small town I lived in, and they would let us use their gym, and we'd basically be locked in all night long. We would do nothing but play sports and eat food. It was heaven on earth for me, man.
Yeah.
It was the best thing ever. I still
That's as close to Neverland as you can get.
Totally. We would do tournaments all throughout the night. There was pizza coming all the time. It was such a cool event. Yeah.
That sounds really fun. Minus the sports part. But you get youth kids in a room and it's a lock-in and everyone's just crazy on the sugar and the pizza.
Hopped up on Mountain Dew and stuff. Yeah. Always a good time. So why I wanted to ask that is because we both know that these events can really make an impression on us. And
they have.
Sometimes they don't even have to be you mentioned some of the creative things about yours, but sometimes they're not even that creative. Throw kids into a gym, buy a bunch of pizza, and let them play sports all night long.
And let the games begin.
Yeah, but it still sticks with us. And sometimes it is because of a deeper meaning or it was super creative. But the point is that these things really matter. These events really do matter. And so we want to make sure that we're doing them well. And so I'm going to pass it off to our question today. Actually, it comes from our Facebook group. So our producer, Caitlin, is going to share our question with us today as he's making her first appearance on the KMA podcast. So,
wow.
Caitlin, what is our question for today?
Okay, so today we have an amalgamation of questions from our Stuff You Can Use, a children's ministry community Facebook group. We always have friends asking in the group questions about what is your favorite event for blank. So our question today is, what are your favorite event ideas?
Ooh,
a big
okay.
question.
Thank you, Caitlin.
A wide open question. Love it.
This is a great question and also a tough question because favorite is such a subjective thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it our favorite because it's the most creative, like you mentioned, or is it our favorite because it's when kids and families who are introduced to our ministry stayed because of these events, or is it because of the impact it had on the culture of your ministry, your volunteer team, your community? So, I think when it comes to deciding favorite events, it might be helpful for us, instead of just going off of vibes, it might be helpful to break down events into specific categories and maybe assess why the different types of events are our favorites and why we like them and why they're helpful. Does that make sense? Does that sound like something we can do?
Yeah, because a great event does so many things, right? Like builds those relationships, like you said, welcome new people, can reinforce faith if it's like a deeper meaning to the event.
Right.
And like we both shared, like creates the memorable moments that kids then associate with the church. But, there's not many events that do like all of those things.
Yeah.
So breaking it down into some different goals that we might have for these different events that we do each year. And then then we'll be able to break it down to what makes ideal events in each of those categories. So if that makes sense, like what are the goals that you have, and then what categories underneath that can kind of help us know what an ideal event is for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I would like to just kick us off by talking about the first type of event, which is just for fun events. Right?
Yes.
And these are actually my favorite type of events.
Totally.
Because there's really no agenda, quote unquote, if you will.
Yeah.
It's really just about spending time with kids, spending time with families, making some core memories like we mentioned, because these events really are just about building those relationships. And so the just for fun events can focus on laughter and games and shared experiences, and it really helps kids connect leaders with each other. And it's just, you want to be able to build fun into your ministry. So do some just for fun events.
Yeah, and I think it's so great that we're starting with these because of the nature of them. It's easy to think of them as like a less important event when they're totally not. Like these are just as important as your other events. And so they don't typically include like a teaching moment or a discussion time, and that's completely okay because their purpose is to build trust, friendship, so kids feel comfortable and excited to come back, like when you have these just for fun events. And then, like we talked about before, when kids do have a super fun time and build these positive relationships, they're much more likely to come back and they start to engage long term. So some examples might include, like a real life example from me is we would do a glow in the dark game night. And so we had like an auditorium that was like also a gym, and we would put like an obstacle course together. Totally. A lot of gym time for me, both in ministry and as a kid. But we totally decorated the gym in all glow in the dark stuff. So all stuff when you turn the lights out, it would glow in the dark, like black light stuff and everything, and made it into kind of an obstacle course. And throughout the night, the kids would be on teams and they would play games against each other. So it's kind of like you're collecting points throughout the night. And at the end of the night, there's like a winning team. Actually, both teams won. We always made it so they would tie at the end. But it was like super fun, building relationships, having fun together. So that's one example of how you could do these just for fun events.
Yeah, that's really creative. I like that a lot. For me, the Hallelujah Night example I shared at the beginning is a good example of this, because you get a little healthy bit of chaos, and you have food, games, prizes. Like that's a winning trifecta, right?
Yeah.
That's just such easy way to plug people in. Nobody has to be forced to do any kind of activity. You can roam through the different
these things.
Right. You can roam through the activities at will. Like it's so free, and it really helps people feel like, oh, this is fun. Like these people are fun. Like I want to hang out with them more, which is what these events are supposed to do.
Keep
And
it
we
fun.
value just for fun events so much at Grow Curriculum. So we create a lot of events like this as well.
Yeah.
And so I just want to highlight a couple that we had in our most recent volume of curriculum. One is Opposite Day. And
Yes.
this is like similar to all of the station games that we were talking about, where they play a lot of different games together, but then the rules are flipped. So it's just
Yes.
silly. And when
Yeah.
things get silly, that's a core memory. Like speaking
Yeah.
of core memories, right? So we have games like Race to the Last. So it's like the slowest to the finish line. We have a station called Shootin' Hoops, which is you shoot hula hoops around a basketball. So it's
Yeah.
reverse. Which I read that when I was reviewing it, and I was like, this is so silly. I love it.
Yeah.
And then we have Toe Tactic, right? That's like backwards, like where you try
Gotcha.
really hard not to get 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Like those. So it's like, see, it's like it's really creative, but it's also like really easy to create
Yeah.
these things.
I love the
Another
Opposite Day
one.
example because it's like it can be just a minor twist on something that is normal. And that's really cool for these just for fun events. Like it doesn't have to be like a huge overhaul of something, but like
Yeah.
just switching around the rules can make it a
Yeah.
memorable event for kids. Like you just turn the
Yeah.
rules upside down and it's like, wow, that was unlike anything we've ever done before.
Yeah.
So
Do you remember when reverse charades took off and now it's just like a
totally,
ministry staple? Like when we
totally.
first heard of it, it was like, what? The
Yeah, yeah,
audience has to act it out. But then we're like, we love it. We're going to do this forever. But at
yeah,
first, it's such a simple premise. Yeah. So this is a fun activity. I love
totally.
it so much. And the another one that I wanted to highlight is an event called Tie Dye Everything,
Right.
which is an event where you tie dye everything, as it says.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. And I'm excited about this one specifically because we are doing this at our church as our Easter event.
Oh,
And so we're going to
cool.
tie in the tie-dye eggs component so
Yeah.
that we have that little Easter thing. But this can be done anytime throughout the year, right? Because it's just, you get a bunch of different products like shirts, drawstring bags, scrunchies, bucket hats, socks, whatever. And,
Yeah.
have these little tie-dye
Tie-dye 'em.
stations and set it up. And kids love tie-dye. Like it's a
Yep.
fun activity for them and it's not super hard. One thing I wanted to point out is we have an activity called tie-dye small group leaders where you throw like chalk paint at leaders with their consent,
Yes.
of course. And I'm like, that is so fun. And I
Yeah.
think that would be really fun. And there's like a photo booth backdrop where the kids can throw like water balloons filled with paint and like make a backdrop too. So these events don't have to be super elaborate or complicated. You can, like we were talking about, take a simple idea and just like do something goofy with it.
Yeah.
But the best events really are just simple opportunities for kids to laugh and build friendships. So
What I
yeah,
love
don't
about
shy
the
away from
tie-dye
those.
one is like they get to go home with that t-shirt. And then
Right.
that, like when like two kids wear it at church or something, they're like, oh, remember when we did that tie-dye thing? We played that
Yeah.
game or whatever. So it's like a built-in memory instigator, which I think is
Yeah, and if
great.
you want it to, like, if you want that shirt to have more ties to your ministry, you can have like a logo printed
Yeah,
on
like
the
a
shirt.
branded, totally.
Right. Yeah, and then so they have that, but then they tie-dyed it so it's personalized. Yeah, so
Cool.
super fun.
Just
I'm
for
really looking
fun
forward to doing
events.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the second one that we want to talk about, the second category, kind of an obvious one, but we're going to talk about holiday events. So
Yay!
yeah, holiday, obviously, it's powerful because families are already in that mode, man. They're already in the vibe of celebration. And when we're thinking about holiday events, we're going to specifically think about like Christmas and Easter because those dates give you natural opportunities to bring families together and connect the fun of the season in both those different holidays, also with the story of Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty much expected, right, for
Right.
churches to do something for Christmas and Easter. But if you don't really have big events around this time, like don't feel pressured to do it. I think a lot of times ministry leaders feel like I have to do this because everyone else is doing it. But if
Yeah.
your situation and your budget and the way that things work around in your church calendar, it doesn't allow for that, then don't feel like you have to do it. But if you are looking to add something to the calendar, or if you're thinking about changing things up, then yeah, let's talk about this. So starting with Christmas, like it's already kind of event ready by default. There's so much of the holiday that already lends itself to fun events. But again, we don't want to miss the connection piece, right? It is about celebration, but also connection. It's great opportunities to help kids build relationships, but while also reminding them of the meaning behind the holiday, like you were saying. So, for example, you might host a cookie decorating party followed by the Christmas story. And we don't mean
Now
like
you're
the
speaking my
movie.
language. Cookie decorating
Right.
party. Yes, let's
Yes.
go.
And if we learned anything about Jason, just plain sugar cookies.
Yep, with the regular frosting.
Regular
Don't
frosting.
add any sprinkles or anything, man. I
No.
just want the cookie and the frosting.
Absolutely. Or you can do a Christmas craft workshop where kids and parents make ornaments together. And that could also tie in really beautifully with the Christmas story and the hope that we experience with the birth of Jesus. I remember we had a gingerbread house making event, and it was really cute because it was in the cafeteria and everybody was sat at a table with like all of the fixins, right? It felt like a chocolate factory. It just felt like so much fun because there was like so much candy everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we had the little graham crackers. And like, I swear nobody eats these ever. Maybe it's just because like we don't want to tear it down. And also after it's sitting for a while, you don't want to eat that. But I feel like kids just generally have a fascination with building them because, you get to play with food. It's so fun. And so that's something we can do. Something from our curriculum that's really fun is an event called Merry Mini Golf. And it combines a little bit of like putt-putt competition with Christmas decor and snacks and prizes, but also we have a teaching component with which Jason, you actually wrote for the curriculum. Fun little side fact, if you remember. And that we can kick off the event with like, let's remember why we're here.
Yeah.
And so that's a really good way to talk about the holiday, but also invite that time of celebration and fun.
Yeah, totally. And when it comes to Easter, obviously, it's a great opportunity to share the story of Jesus' resurrection and also engage with families who are just checking out your ministry for the first time. I think that could be true of Christmas too.
Yeah,
but especially
it happens.
of
We
Easter.
get a lot of first-time visitors around these times.
Totally. So some of the Easter events that we have at Grow that are super cool. One that I love is the Golden Ticket Tour.
I
kind of
love
diving
this one.
back into the Willy Wonka idea. So just capitalize on all the delicious Easter candy that is released every year. What's your favorite Easter candy, Linda?
Oh, wow. Put me on the spot. It has to be the Reese's eggs.
Yes.
The egg-shaped Reese's.
100% correct
Right?
answer. 100%.
See, this is why we're friends.
Yeah. How do you, okay.
Gotta connect
Peeps,
at the candy level.
Are you yes or no on Peeps?
I am a no on Peeps.
Okay, me too.
Okay,
Me too.
now we're not friends.
No. I am too. I'm with you.
You
I
said
don't
me
like
too.
Peeps
Okay,
either.
2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
I thought you said, because you were shaking your head.
No. I was like, yes. I'm a no
the
on
shaking
Peeps.
head of conviction.
Yes.
It's fun to throw at things, but not really fun to eat.
It's fun to play with, but not fun to eat. So totally capitalize on those Easter candies that are released and host a station-based activity full of games, full of activities, and of course, candy-coated surprises as well. Another thing you could do, we talked about this with Christmas too, but a crazy craft day. Again, like station-based, Easter-themed crafts. And these are cool because the whole family can work on them together and build those memories. And then the Grow with God. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
A fun thing about the Crazy Craft Day is in the curriculum, we suggest you have like a floating craft expert so that families can like build together, but then you have leaders to like kind of help them out and direct the craft. And like maybe you have like, I am the hot glue expert, so not everybody has to handle difficult things. So it's really fun and really mindful because, building things together is really, it might not be like everyone's cup of tea, but even if for the people who are like, I don't like drawing or I don't like making things.
And then there's some great discipleship activities that you can actually turn into events during the Easter season, like the Grow with God experience. If you have like, the church I used to be at, we had an actual like community garden that was right outside of our church. If you don't have that, you can kind of set up something that is like a garden, and you kind of walk through that garden and their stations, and that's a great one for kids and families
Yes.
and leaders to all do together.
Yes.
And then there's another one that we offer called the Crossway Station, and it's like kind of with the theme of trains, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And that's a discipleship activity where kids can walk through obviously the stations of the cross. So if you're aiming for more of that deeper meaning behind these events during the holidays, that's a great one to try too.
Yeah, and the thing about discipleship activities that you can really stretch into events is all you need to do is add food and it
Exactly.
automatically becomes an event.
Totally.
So, and
Don't
I'm thinking
overthink it.
things like the Grow with God experience or
Yeah.
the Crossway Station, like you theme it up just a little bit with your decor and like, boom, you're there. So that's
Exactly.
really fun. Okay, so we talked about just for fun events. We talked about holiday events, specifically Christmas and Easter events. What else might we want to do? We might want to create space for intentional connection. Now, all of these events do come with points of entry for connecting with families and kids,
Yeah.
but maybe we want to design some events specifically for the purpose of inviting new families and new kids, new people from our community who don't regularly attend your weekly program. And so
Yeah.
events like these can really help kids like go out and invite their friends, right? Because this is what we do with our kids ministry as well. Because sometimes it's really hard to be like, tell your friends to come on Sunday. And kids don't know how to explain what we do at church to their kids sufficiently enough for their
Exactly.
friends to be like, that sounds like a good time, right? But a good way to get them in is like, hey, we're doing this event. Like, come hang out with us. It's free. Like, it's going to
Yeah.
be a good time. We'll have good food and some other things. And so it really gives parents and families especially a chance to see what your ministry is like, and
Yeah.
it creates really easy entry points for new families. So this is like an outreach or a family-centered event that would be a good one to add to your calendar.
Totally. And highlighting these outreach and family events, I think reminds us of a very important fact, and that is that parents are often the ones that
Yeah.
decide if a kid stays connected to a church. And
Yeah.
so when families feel like welcomed and included with these events, it's far more likely that that kid is going to stay engaged. And so when you're doing an outreach and a family event, here are some things you want to keep in mind, like including activities that both the kids and the parents will enjoy together.
Yes.
That's very
Yes.
important to keep in mind. Another one is, and I think this is very important, is like make the environment simple for them to understand. So there's not a lot that they have to calculate when they walk in the door. Like it's very simple for them to know, like, okay, this is what this is. This is what I'm getting into.
Right. Even
Just-
the journey from the parking lot to the entrance, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes it can be a
remove
little
the
bit of a
barriers.
labyrinth.
Totally,
Right.
totally. So remove those barriers that would keep them from like coming into the space, the environment. And then, like we've talked about, this is a great opportunity for kids to invite their friends. So you want to make sure it is an event that they'll want to invite their
Right.
friends to. And so make it something that you know they're going to be like, wow, this is going to be cool. I don't want to miss it. And I want to grab these people to come with me too.
Right. And then give them something that they can give their friends as they invite them. So
Yeah.
they don't have all the pressure on having to try to explain it. You'd be like, hey, I have this
Exactly.
flyer. I have this little flyer with a little candy attached or whatever it is, just to get the kids excited to tell their friends. Right?
Exactly. Yep.
Some examples of these kinds of events, I think, are like family field days are always fun, right? Like families just like running around and playing together, having relay races and inflatables and things like that. Like we used to have an event
Yes.
like that at my previous church. We had these really intense church Olympics, and the entire church was divided into blue or white teams, and we all had like t-shirts and stuff. And then there were like bleachers, and we had to like sit there and like cheer for our team, and we had actual like cheerleaders in the front, like leading all the cheers for the team. Like,
Wow.
we had
Yeah.
little songs and stuff. It was hilarious. It was so competitive. And then because it was the whole church, there were like different events throughout the day that members of your team are signing up for. And so even if you're not in an event, like you can cheer for the people you know in the event. So there's like relay races. It was really like Olympics, or there was like disc throwing, there was tug of war and random things. And the fun part about this event why we looked forward to it every year was that the prizes were always household items. So it was like Clorox wipes, Tupperware, dried seaweed because we Asian, rice scoopers, Kleenex, paper towels, actual towels. And as a kid, when you go to an event like this, you're like, yeah, these are not fun prizes.
Yeah.
But the families were like, oh my God, thank you.
Yes, that's awesome.
Necessities.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, both teams left with prizes. It was just like the winning team got first pick.
Yeah.
So it was a really fun incentive to have like the whole family participate. So definitely an event where everybody can participate and whole families can be there together. And it's not parents just sitting on the sidelines and just watching their kids do stuff. Like it really fosters that community, which is what that's what people are looking for when they're looking for a new church to join.
Yeah, doing the family field days like that, like the team stuff, that builds in the invitation. Like, so a kid will be like, you got to come be on my team for this competition we're going to have. Like, I remember as a kid that like was so easy to ask my friends to come to that because we're going to be on this team together. We got to beat the white team, you know, we got to, you know, so it makes the invitation easier for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so like, you know, when people do invite their friends, like, you know, put them on the same team. Like, don't be like, totally. Oh, you're here. Now you're on the other team.
Yeah,
like,
don't do that.
Just ruin it for everybody.
Totally.
Some other things you could do would be like a back to school kickoff. That would be fun. You know how schools do a lot of back to school events? Like we can do that at church too with giveaways and activities. One fun family centered thing that we have in our curriculum is an event called Family Fest. And so think of it as kind of like a block party. So we have bounce houses, dunk tanks, like just like dunk tanks. Yes, dunk tanks. I don't remember what I said, but it wasn't tanks. Just like carnival type games where families can enjoy a relaxed afternoon together and just, you know, hang out and eat good food. This good food thing is central, everybody. This is a running theme.
Yes, exactly. And just to reemphasize the point, like these kinds of events help families feel connected to your ministry. That's what kind of the purpose of them is. And we mentioned over and over again, gives the kids an opportunity to invite their friends in like a really easy...
You want to get the kids talking.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, speaking of events that kids can invite their friends to, we can't talk about KidMin events without talking about VBS.
Yes.
It's one of the most powerful kids ministry events. And VBS brings together many of the goals and purposes that we already talked about, but we like kind of stretch it out into a week-long experience. So it's kind of concentrated in this way. So throughout VBS, we have kids participating in Bible stories. So we kind of have that outreach component, games, craft, music, and small group time. So not only are they learning, but they're connecting. And so it's a really cool environment where kids can spend time with God, but then also spend time with others and use their gifts and share their stories, which are core spiritual habits that our curriculum really wants to foster in kids. And, you know, the kids themselves, they really do look forward to this event all year.
Exactly.
One of my previous students would count down the days from the end of the previous year's VBS to the next year's. It was, because we would do these week-long camps. So as soon as she came home from camp, she'll start like counting down the days on her calendar because we would have announced next year's dates in advance. And I was like, that is too cute. But that's how impactful it was for a lot of kids. And so we want to really do justice for them. And the funny thing for us, for our church, because I did mention it was a week-long camp, parents would actually schedule their kid-free vacation time around our camps.
Exactly.
They'll be like, oh, you're going to take them away from me for 5 days?
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to Aruba. So that was like a win-win. And I leaned into that so hard. I was like, absolutely. Like, go do your own thing. We will watch your children. They're going to have a good time. It was kind of like being a cruise director. So you go do your thing. I'll take care of your children. So
Totally.
VBS. Yeah, so fun.
Yeah. And, these VBS events are, like you talked about, powerful because you have a lot of people that don't normally go to church who will come to a VBS for the reasons like you mentioned, where kids just want to get rid of their kids or parents just want to get rid of their kids.
We need that too,
Yeah, and that is great. And so if you're thinking about adding a VBS or trying out a VBS this year, we've got a lot of great options. Our newest one is always free, and so that is crazy, free VBS. But one of my favorite ones is Step Right Up, and I love that one because of the whole carnival feel. That is so very fun. When we actually did it, it was very well received by the kiddos. Totally, to step into a carnival. The more immersive you can make that one, the better it is. So that would be the one that I would recommend.
Oh my goodness, say more. How did you make it more immersive?
We tried to make it like an actual carnival. So we brought, like you talked about before with the Halloween thing, make the games, your own versions of the games. The smells, we tried to create all the smells. So we had corn dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we really went for the immersive feel, and kids loved it.
I know. Kids love a good carnival.
Yeah.
It's always a winner.
Totally.
I distinctly remember our content team, we ideated this one over lunch. We snuck it into our meetings, and we're like, hey, everyone, do you feel like brainstorming some VBS ideas? And everyone was just boom, 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 boom. And it just came together in one lunch session.
Yes.
So we work with a lot of really intelligent and mindful people. So
who also love carnivals.
Who also love carnivals, it turns out. But yeah, like Jason was saying, we have so many good options and they're all really fun. I was thinking about which one do I love the most? And it's like telling me to choose my favorite child. I cannot. They're all so good. So depending on what theme you would like to pursue, what you feel like the easiest one that you can do in your environment, go for it. But I think I do have a little bit of a lean towards our On the Case VBS because that was a mystery themed VBS, and we talked about the parables of Jesus, which I always love teaching about the parables.
Yeah.
But we treated the parables as little mysteries. There's clues in them, and it's what is Jesus teaching us with these parables? And so it was a really fun VBS for sure.
Yeah.
But for many ministries, VBS is important because it becomes one of the biggest outreach and discipleship opportunities for the entire year. And I do know a lot of churches put a lot of their budget into VBS, right? And so really thinking about why this is impactful. And we do have an episode in one of our podcast episodes about VBS, so you can check that out too. Little plug for you. But this is such a great way for kids to be introduced to your ministry. But even for the ones who have been in the ministry all year long, it's a different facet of ministry because it's not your regular Sunday. So all around win. Gotta do it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this in that VBS episode that we talked about, but it's worth mentioning again because this really is the power of VBS. My son Isaiah was not a kid to dance around and be wild and crazy at normal church things, but the hype and the buildup around VBS, I have a video of him just absolutely dancing like crazy to the VBS theme song. And I just remember there was something very special about that event to him that made it a safe place for him to open up and be more engaged in that specific way. So these events can really do that for kiddos.
Yeah, and what a moment as a parent to witness your child engaging in that way. It's so special. Yeah, so, we talked about 4 different types of event, and clearly they are all our favorites, but which one's your favorite, everybody? Is it the Just for Fun events? Is it the holiday events, outreach events, family events, VBS? All of the above, probably like us, because it is hard to choose. So it really does come down to what is what kind of purposeful event you want to add to your calendar.
Yep.
I am kind of not by choice, but situationally an amateur event planner because I get asked to do all the
Yes.
baby showers and weddings and birthday
All of
parties.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, when I think of events, it's really easy to get bogged down by the details and things running smoothly. Like
Yeah.
at the last wedding I was planning, I had my little clipboard and I was like checking things off and running around and making sure everything was running. And I'm like telling the photographer to come over here and take pictures of this. And it's really nice when everything is running smoothly and it's like clockwork. But all in all, especially when it comes to ministry, the best events are intentional. Right? When you
Yeah.
choose events that build relationships, that welcomes new families, that helps kids grow in their faith and involve parents all the while doing that, you create opportunities for kids to connect with God and with each other without
Totally.
it feeling like this forced teaching time. It just
Yeah.
naturally happens because we're spending time together and we're learning about the God who loves us. And, and we're learning just naturally and organically through these relationships that we're forming.
Yeah. And I think I would add, like, it's definitely a quality over quantity type thing. Like, you don't
Yes.
need dozens of these events to fill up your calendar. You can just choose a few types of events with clear set goals. And those are the ones that will make a huge impact on the culture, on your ministry, and on the community around you.
Yeah, and like Jason mentioned earlier with his gym-related event stories,
Yeah.
like sometimes the best events are the simplest ones,
Exactly.
right? When kids are laughing, building friendships, making memories together, you are already creating an environment where faith can grow, and that is really what you want for all your events. So,
Totally. Well, what a great conversation. We mentioned
yeah.
tons of events that we
You
offer
can
at
tell
Grow.
we love the events.
We do. We totally do. So you can find all of our events at growcurriculum.org, and we're also going to put them in the show notes. Links to all those events you can find in our show notes. All right, Linda, it's that time again
It's
where I
that
need to
time.
ask the so important question. What is it that you are into these days?
This is the moment I look forward to every time we hang out together.
I love it.
I am currently rereading the Legend trilogy by Marie Lu because of my
Okay.
older son Elijah. And so for a while now, he would always just ask me for book recommendations, which makes me so happy. I'm like, yay, you trust my taste. And so we did that with the Hunger Games books last year,
Yeah.
and he really liked them. So he was like, Mom, what should I read next? And so it reminded me of this trilogy that I read a while back, and it's so good. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, why don't you try this one? But then when he starts reading it, I always start reading it too, so that we can kind of like chat about it on the way to school. So it's great. It's such a fun series. And, it's my love of dystopian YA literature. It's always a fun time. And I'm apparently passing that on to my kids. That's what I'm into right
Very
now.
cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
What about you?
Well, first I'll say, consider me jealous that your son comes to you for book recommendations. I would definitely wish that was the case with my son. And I'm going to check that trilogy out. We are in need, Isaiah and I, of a good book trilogy to get into together.
Oh my
We
goodness,
did.
let's start a little book club.
Yeah, we did The Wild Robot together, which was
Yes.
very cool. And so I'm going to look at the Legend trilogy, see if I can get Isaiah into it for sure.
Yeah, he might like it.
Yeah. So in regards to what I'm into, very simple. I am into lavender. I'm into the color lavender. I'm into the flavor lavender. I'm into all of it. I
Is
just
it the
had coffee over
springtime?
here. I don't know. It's never hit me like this before. I just, for some reason, the smell of it, the flavor, even the color, and there's not a lot of lavender options for guys in terms of clothing. So I'm having
That's a
to
shame.
look around for that. But that is what I'm into these days.
Yeah. As you know, I love the color purple. So lavender is,
It's
a related
close.
shade.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a time where, no, why do I say that like it was a distant past? I still do this. I have
Okay.
so many lavender things like scented soaps and candles and lavender lattes are delicious.
Oh, the best.
Yes.
The best.
Our producer, Caitlin, makes a delicious lavender latte. I always have
Totally.
to brag about her barista skills. Incredible.
Yes.
Now I want
incredible. Well, Linda, it has been so good chatting with you today. Thank you as always.
Fun.
And always for our listeners, thank you so much for listening. And shout out to the Facebook group for providing such a great question for us to talk about today. If you have a ministry question that you want us to talk about, send us a voice message. You can do it at kma.show. We will see you all next time. And
bye, everybody.
Take care.